place match. And here we go. In the top left, we have none other than OyA. And in the bottom left, we have TerrOr. Now, I believe we're on circuit, our broken circuit. Yep, broken circuit. And welcome back, Saiyan. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Yeah, I'm ready for this match, this TVP. It's better than watching another PvP, but hopefully we can see Terror have a good game here. Good set.
Do you feel sad that you missed the 5 minutes of slaughtering that one cast?
It wasn't that bad. I was doing an interview.
It was pain from moment one. Terror was ripped apart.
Wow. Okay. I don't think Terror wanted anyone to see that, but I guess the only one who didn't.
Yeah. Well, at least that's somebody. Now, all right, here we go. I mean, Terror versus OyA. Now, OyA has a very kind of specific style. He's extremely good at macro. So, like, for instance, in my opinion, his strongest build by far is going Reaver into 3 base Gateway Man with something. You can attack it like 11 minutes there with a huge army. He's very good at that.
Do you think that Terror will do a 2-fact to start things off again?
No. We really need to end the 2-facts. They don't work is the problem. Like basically ever. 0% win rate literally at this tournament. So, anyways, looking at this, it looks like just a gas expansion, and I imagine OyA is going to get about as quick a Nexus as he can as well.
Yeah, that fast Nexus should be coming down. Oh, gas here for OyA, and does he go just one gate or one goon, excuse me, into an expansion? Is that kind of his style, or does he like to get a zealot here?
Well, he's definitely going to get a zealot this time. But yeah, I'm not 100% on his openers. I'm more of he's like someone I know his play enough that I just kind of know the way that he plays the general game. Not as much with the openers, but here he has opened with a zealot. In fact, it's going to be 2 zealots at least. Yeah, in fact, it's not going to be 3. That's like 3 is really weird. But this is going to be a 2 zealot into Dragoon opener. And against this, you definitely need to go 3rd depot as Terran.
And he has the little depot wall here at the front with the barracks to micro through, and he's showing some pretty good micro so far. 2nd Marine is going to pop out and blocking at the ramp with the SCV, just slowing things down even more, and he should pull this back. Oh, running right past. Good job getting the 2 Marines between the supply depot and the barracks, though. That can be hard to do sometimes.
Yeah, he clicks it nicely, but loses an SCV there. 2nd Zealot coming down now. I hope that Terror has started his 3rd depot. Yeah, I see it on the minimap. He has, in fact, started it, so that's good. He can go up to 4 or 5 Marines and a Vulture and then take his expansion. And OyA should be going after his Dragoon into a Nexus as well. So, that's actually... Hold on. Okay, if you kill the Zealot, now he's lost 2 SCVs, sure, but he's only taken 1 hit on Marines. 100% I would counterattack here as Terror. He's killed a Zealot. The other one has damage. If you make another Marine... Oh, see? OyA knows. Oh, damn, these guys are good. So he loses the Zealot. He looks at the Marine count. He says, okay, 2nd Gateway. Yeah. This is completely correct, I would say.
All right, he's building a bunker here. So is he actually going to do the counterattack or not?
No. It looks like he is going to go ahead and just load that up. But actually, he puts down an add-on. There is some chance here of a weird, like, 1-base FD push. I've seen Terror do that sometimes, where he'll literally go across with, like, Marine tank and, like, siege it and, like, kind of just slow the expansion of his opponent. It's a really weird build, but I have seen him do it. He does have the command center go down. And OyA, he's going to want to start that Nexus.
Terror thinking about slipping in here with the Vulture, but Zealot on the ramp and Dragoon is in position, so just going to back away here and wait for that mine upgrade. Try to set down some mines that are going to possibly catch this Dragoon on the retreat. However, Marines pushing forward here. 5 Marines at the front. And, I was thinking that you might be right. He's going to push here, but, he's not building any Marines right now. And now it's kind of looking like he just wants to go into a more normal game, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I retract the statement. Like, I think when you kill a Zealot like that and you don't lose Marines, an attack is good, but here I wouldn't do it anymore. It's like he's kind of lost the timing. It's 2-gate anyways. Now that hidden starport is very, very good. You know, if he could just get some mines out in the map, he has real potential for damage.
He is getting those mines up behind the Dragoons, but unfortunately they get picked off before connecting there. And this next mine, this actually could, he lose this right now. Does connect, but the Dragoon gets one last shot, picks that off. Bit unfortunate here for TerrOr, not really getting any good position mines here, except for, I guess, that one kind of slows things down, but I think that OyA's done a great job of stopping this from, you know, getting in his way here.
Yeah, well, TerrOr just wants some mines. Like, you want a general minefield around Protoss so that you know the closest the Dragoons can be. It helps you plan your dropship move. So, can he get the dropship in unscouted? This is the real question here, because his whole build is kind of, well, not hinged. Like, you don't have to get damage with a dropship opener every single time. But if he can get it, that makes the game a lot easier.
Ooh, eats a mine shot here, and yeah, I didn't think about that. There's kind of a small little layer at the top of the map, some darkness up there, the fog of war that maybe he can just barely slip by along the top edge. And look at this. Oh god, OyA just so smart right now. He's gonna put his goon right up there at the north, and this is gonna be completely spotted.
This is unfortunate. I think he has basically figured out what's going on. You know, the Zealot goes out there, does die. He sees Vulture speed, which is very telling. By the way, I need to point out as well, 44-44 there for a long time for TerrOr. He missed a depot by like at least 30 seconds, which is brutal. Has less supply than he should right now, and he's once again supply blocked.
He's gonna thread the needle here, going through that fog of war. OyA moved the Dragoon, seeing that those vultures were over there, but he's moving 3 more Dragoons into his main. He is so smart, man. He just knows that this is coming, and TerrOr's gonna come in, get some probe kills. He's already got 2, maybe 3, 4, 5 probes. Man, that's some good damage actually, and might be able to sneak these out. No, he sent the dropship away, so he's not gonna be able to get out of here. 1 more probe? No.
That was good, though. That was good. You're pretty happy with that drop. And OyA actually starts a 3rd Nexus immediately, which I think is a very good move there as well. What is he doing with his shovel? What am I... What? I'm not... It's empty, right?
Yeah, I think so. I don't see anything coming out of this, and I think he's just going to fly out. That was a little bit strange. I guess he was distracted by the drops coming in, and, you know... OyA, it kind of looks like he was map hacking or something, that he knew that this drop was going to be coming through, but oh god, the Wraith is coming out. Gonna get this kill. Oh, 1 last shot. He will lose the Wraith, but trading it, getting rid of that shuttle. Was that really worth it?
Yeah, I think it's like approximately even that moment. Like the Wraith is very useful, the shuttle's very useful. The shuttle's cheaper than the Wraith, so that's nice for Protoss, but everything's cheaper for Protoss.
All right, just finishing my thought from earlier there is that TerrOr in his games versus Ultra, Ultra spotted TerrOr doing a proxied starport, and he found it immediately and killed it. And it was like one of those moments where just star sense, but Ultra told us later that it was just something that TerrOr always does. So he knows that it's coming. At least one of these games, he always sends out the scouts, and OyA seems to be aware of that as well.
Yeah, I can definitely confirm that he likes proxy starport in all matchups, truly. Now, the Dragoons up here trying to pressure slightly. Of course, TerrOr has gone into a 5 factory. That's the standard follow-up to any starport opener. But I think he's going to take a 3rd base. I don't think he's going to set up for an attack. Oh god, he adds another factory. So, I mean, as soon as you see 6 factory, it's like, well, your idea is an attack for sure.
So he's going to try this build. Will he go all the way up to 7 factory like he did against Boneth? The build did not go well for... Oh, wait a second. We're spinning here with the Cybernetic core. He's going to be going into carrier here, and the 7 factory could do very, very well against a carrier build if he catches it in that transition. Of course, Boneth was doing the same thing, but he did it after killing that first army, right?
Yeah. This is really interesting because you're definitely right. The 6 factory is something that should be able to kill a carrier transition, but at the same time, going carriers quickly against dropship is actually a pretty popular move. If you go dropship, you have a very late comm stat always. and so you don't really know that it's happening, but also you're lower on units because you went dropship as opposed to more factories. So I see good and bad on both sides for how these builds are going right now.
Well, OyA gets some mines placed behind his Dragoons here. They're kind of trapped on the map for now. Going to send one observer back there, but some damage now coming down at the third base. He's going to have to run these probes all the way to the back behind the mineral patches, losing quite a few of them. TerrOr getting some good damage here before this attack ever comes in.
Yeah, this is excellent. Now, Zot's being wasted as well. That is some lost mining time, without a doubt. The Dragoons are clearing the rest of the mines, so his side of the map is going to be mine-free relatively soon here. Some good Reaver hits, and is going to be able to clear the rest of those and get back to mining his third.
So, getting back to mining the third, he's got 2 Reavers here to try and hold this off, but the Reavers are going to be the linchpin of the defense, already setting up in a good spot here. TerrOr utilizing the fact that the Reavers were sent back for the defense to move into a good position, already going way better, and he kills the Reaver already. So 1 Reaver is left over, and he needs this Reaver to do huge damage in order to slow this down and stop TerrOr from killing him right here, right now. Oh, big unsiege, but everything's moving forward.
Oh my god, the Marines do a great job of pushing that shuttle back as well. Some of the Zealots not moving forward here for OyA, and TerrOr is looking fantastic. It looks like he should be able to win this game.
Guys pushing farther and farther forward here. There's no Zealot speed. You usually do not go for that upgrade when you're getting into carrier this quickly. So foregoing that upgrade here, the Zealots are very, very slow. They're getting pelted by the tanks as they run back and forth. Now going to drop with this shuttle on top, but the Marines are here. They're going to gun that down. Only 1 Zealot gets out, and I think that's got to be it. All the Zealots are gone.
It has to be. It has to be. This is... like, if you win this game as OyA, like, the world doesn't make sense. GG is called, and TerrOr takes the game. And finally, we do have an S-rank Terran beating an S-rank Protoss at this tournament. Well played.
Very well played, and yeah, that was some great counterattacking from TerrOr. You know, in that game versus Bonnet, he didn't have the Protoss army out of position. He wasn't able to draw the army away from the front. There was still a Reaver sitting there waiting for his push. And so, you know, the big Scarab hits from Bonnet really stopped that. But this time, he got into a good position, and the Reaver wasn't ready. It got picked off very quickly. Everything went right for TerrOr, and he managed to take that game.
Yeah. The build lined up like perfectly, basically, right? Because he actually didn't do the secondary drop. Normally you want to do a secondary drop with that build after you have your 5 factories to decide what to do next, but he just went directly into 6 factory, and it happened to be a carrier transition. Now, if OyA had instead gotten legs quicker, had focused more heavily on gateway unit production, the game would still be going on. It would look a lot different. He probably would hold that push relatively easily. So you know, that's sometimes the way things go. You know, sometimes you choose the right build against what your opponent's doing, and you're going to pick up that win quicker that way.
Okay. Well, it looks like they're already in game. The lobby is set. We're just about ready to get into game number 2 here. With TerrOr in the lead, can OyA bring it back? Guys, we're here. We're ready to go. The game has started, and we're jumping right in.
Neo Luna going to be our map for game 2. OyA choosing this one, a very tough one. We have TerrOr in the top left. And that means that OyA, of course, going to be the bottom left.
Yeah, these players are quite far from us now, so we don't have to worry so much about spoiling them or them hearing us talking. They're all the way across the room, so that's no longer a factor. And yeah, we've got vertical spawns here to work with. Neo Luna, once again, this map, 14 base map, or 12 base map, excuse me. I keep saying that, but this is a map that's a lot smaller, a lot less bases, and you know, it splits in half a lot quicker. A lot faster games here in TVP, but I hope we do get a long game at least once in this series.
Yeah, that's actually what OyA should aim for. He should aim to make the game longer, because even if Terran gets an advantage, if they don't kill you with like basically the first advantage that they have, Luna becomes very hard. The center has no terrain. It's just very wide open. and the third base is extremely far away. So Protoss can basically move their entire army really quickly into any position, and Terran has a hard time either defending or even expanding it. Like, taking a fourth base on this map is incredibly hard because your units will be so out of position you can't defend something else. So yeah, it's a tough map to play a long macro game on as a Terran.
Speaking from experience here.
Absolutely speaking from experience, and I heard that that's exactly what happened with SPX yesterday as well. That it was just exactly, I mean, every game that I've played on Luna has looked exactly like that as well.
All right, so OyA, he probably knows the strat here. Extending the game long is going to go in his favor. I doubt he'll go for another carrier transition. He seems like more of a shuttle player, right?
Definitely, I would agree with that. He's very good at gateway macro. I don't even remember too many of his carrier games, to be honest. And the thing is, the theory behind his carrier transition there was solid, so I can't blame him for it. But I'd like to see him go Reaver into Gateway Man and macro out from there.
All right, grabbing a command center on low ground. Look at this. He's going for the gasless fastest spend you talked about in his match versus versus Voneth, excuse me. You were saying that he's very confident with that play, and if he manages to make it work and not take too much damage in the early game, then he's got like a good chance of winning. So finally finding some confidence here, maybe going for this build that he's well known for and is strong with. That's good. I like to see it.
Yes, absolutely. This is exactly what we want to see out of TerrOr, and he did get the scout first against OyA, which is very, very important for it. It kind of shows you exactly what you have to prepare for. He knows there's no Zealot on the way, so he can probably skimp by on 2 Marines in a bunker and just get his factories up quickly. I imagine here that he's going to go for like 2 factory, like armory. But if he could get a secondary scout, a 4 factory could be a way to get to 2-0 very quickly.
Let's see if we can get that scout in that main base once again. SCV is looping all the way around right now, trying to find a hidden place on the map to obfuscate and sneak back in once the Dragoons have left. Sneaking in here and taking a look at the command center. OyA confirming that that's there and it's no 2 factory again. Does have to confirm that because it is on the table after watching those games versus Voneth, but that's not going to be the build here for TerrOr at all.
Yeah, TerrOr is actually only going 1 factory, so this might be even like an armory. It could be Armory Academy. It could be Armory Starport as well. I'm surprised though, because I feel like he is, like, when I watch TerrOr play generally from this build, he'll go into 2 factories. So what he's going for is going to be a slightly later timing attack, I think.
I'm wondering about this SCV now at the bottom right. Is he going to build another proxy starport? Is that what the plan is here? No, he's going to send it in. Okay, good.
Oh man, that would be funny because, like, I mean, you're going to have to, because you went 1 factory here, you're just going to have to get siege mode. So that's going to slow down any other plans that he has at the moment. Now, the SCV going to pop down here, but I don't think he's going to get the scout he wants, which is, here you just want to know, is it a robo or is it not a robo? And he doesn't know for sure, so he has to make an eBay.
He has to make an eBay. He's got to build some turrets here, and they will be useful later on to defend against the shuttle, but, you know, not knowing whether there's GTs on the way or not, it's a rough position. Now losing quite a bit of money here, repairing this bunker over and over and over again, and the 4 Dragoons have arrived. This is enough to dive on the first tank, so you got to be super careful coming out as TerrOr. If you lose this first tank and you've only gone 1 factory, you might actually die.
Yes, absolutely. He should just wait for siege. Don't even poke the goons. Make sure that you have this tank ready in position. Be careful too when you hit siege mode, because if he hits siege with the SCV on top, you can lose the tank. It might walk into something, you know. But yeah, siege is up in a good position. It's far enough back. He should be fine, and he is going to be trying to follow this up with a draw.
And you have to be really ready for the Dragoons to run forward, to pull your SCVs in front of that as well, and block the Dragoons from running up on that. It's a scary moment, but TerrOr walks that fine line, pushes back the Dragoons, and he's gonna pick up the tank, actually.
Yeah.
He's gonna pick up the tank and leave here. I mean, OyA, he doesn't know it, but he could be hitting the bunker and putting on a lot of pressure. He's gonna spot this dropship, though, coming in. The Observer gonna spot that. What does he do? Does he send all the Dragoons back, or does he start hitting the bunker once again?
Well, he knows that there is either 2 vultures in there or the tank is no longer at home. So let's see what he does with those goons. He's moving the goons back. Okay, so he's misread this. When the tank comes out, he's going to be scratching his head because you know you can't have 2 tanks by that time. And here he goes. He sieges up. He throws down some mines. The drop doing pretty well so far.
Yeah, he's not killing that many probes, but he's stopping the mining here in the main base and creating a serious problem for OyA to try and deal with. He's sending all his Dragoons back to get this mining online again, but this is a huge advantage for TerrOr, just being able to stop this mining for quite some time.
I love this. I was going to say he should try to get the vultures out of there now. They've laid their mines. Maybe he can run them around and get more kills somewhere. And that is exactly what he's going to try to do. Obviously, this tank will get cleared, but that is a lot of lost mining time. It is some lost probes. And now even more, the real damage of this drop happens now.
TerrOr is so smart with these drop plays, just like in his earlier series, just finding ways to get that damage. And OyA's just got to be feeling frustrated here, like dealing with the vultures being dropped outside the base and coming in from the natural. It's a lot of multitasking. It's a lot of harassment that's come down already. And OyA, oh god, the follow-up here is going to be huge. Can he hold on?
Dude, 6 factory follow-up. Okay, so this, here's the thing, right? We were on 1 factory for a long time. OyA already has 4 gates up. So there's like it's going to take a while. You know, we've been talking so much about this, especially in like PvP. How long is it actually going to take with 6 factories that you have just started to catch up to 4 gates that have already been going? Well, if OyA makes units nonstop, it's going to take longer than expected. You might need to wait for 4 groups off of this, like a group of tanks, 2 groups of vultures, and a in-betweenish group of vulture Goliath, right? If he does that, that's going to be an extremely strong push, but can he read that situation correctly and not move out too quickly?
TerrOr going to send in the Wraith to see what's going on here. Not a typical move with the Wraith to get in for the scout, but
he's trying to bait him into that mine.
Oh, no way.
He's literally just hoping that Dragoons come to clear him and hit the mine.
Oh my gosh, this is so funny.
Oh, pull it up, pull it up,
Pull
pull it
up.
Okay.
Oh, they can't get through there.
The Sim City is betraying TerrOr's huge, gigantic 900 IQ.
Oh. Yeah, Giga Chad brain here. The Giga brain move there.
Like, honestly.
Absolutely insane.
Like, very good Terran players sometimes make those moves where there's a mine left over and you try to put something in a position to drag it in. If that goes off, that's like maybe one of the best plays of the tournament.
Yeah, that's Pimpus plays if you can get that to actually trigger. Tank down here at the 6 o'clock, gonna siege up, gets a big shot. Oh, I thought there was actually more probes in that stack, but now with 3 kills here, is he gonna pick those? Is he gonna pick up that tank? No, he leaves the tank and just sends the vultures. He's doing this once again, but I think OyA is gonna be hip to this now. He knows that this is the idea, and yeah, it's just gonna pick off this dropship. Oh, the dropship does go down. Okay, there we go.
All right, TerrOr's done a very good job. He's forced a lot of cannons. He's made him lose a lot of mining time. He's killed a good amount of probes in here as well. Yeah, this push. Okay, here's my problem. Like I said before, I'm worried that he's not going to correctly judge the unit count and push too quickly. In my opinion, this is too quickly. You're not guaranteed a victory here. If he waits like a minute, then I think he is guaranteed a victory.
We're going to get some good mine connections before this fight even starts, but the Zealots are going to get on top of these vultures. The Dragoons are in pretty high number, and the tank count, like you said, just not quite there just yet. And OyA going to walk over what should be a stronger play here from TerrOr. He just runs this down, and you are completely right there, Artosis. He absolutely smacks that, and if he'd waited a little bit longer, I definitely agree, he could have made this a much better push. Oh, great mind drag there with that one goon as well. Just crushing this and dropping that tank count to 1. He's got 1 tank.
Yeah, that's super rough, and it's really unfortunate. You know, if he waits another minute, if he waits for 3 to 4 groups of units, he's just outscaling OyA in every way at that point. But unfortunately, he did push too quick. You know, these are the really complicated things. It's easy for me to sit here and say these things as a Terran player who's observing the game, and you know, I'm not being forced to play this live with all the stress. But like, it's a lot harder in the game to look at this and say, oh, I need to wait for more units right now, because like, Terror in his brain, he knows he's way ahead. He knows he should win this game, and then he attacks too quickly, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah, and for sure it is can be a stress factor, right? You want to take advantage of the advantages that you've gleaned here, the probe damage, the slowing down of OyA's economy. Want to get over there and actually end this game as quickly as possible. Sometimes it feels like when you're in a very stressful situation, you just want to remove that stress as quickly as possible. And you know, jumping the gun a little bit there, that's not out of the question.
Yeah, you want to remove the stress as quickly as possible. Yeah, I think you're quite right. It's like tension in chess or something, right?
Yeah.
If you're like, oh shit, I got to take this pawn with my pawn because they're next to each other. It's like, no, you don't, right? And the same thing absolutely exists in StarCraft, where there's tension about the game and about what's happening, but you gotta be comfortable in that. Now, all that being said, you know, we're sad for Terror that he kind of messed up that push timing, but he's not dead. This is absolutely still playable. He has a huge factory count. He's floating his third. The fourth Nexus is going up for you, OyA, but 3 bases versus 4 is fine.
Yeah, he's going to be able to lock down this quadrant of the map. The top left, the bases from your natural and your third do spread out and kind of cover your main base. So the only problem I find with this map is that there's not a lot of buildable terrain between your natural and your third. All of that is kind of like this rocky terrain that you can't actually build turrets on, and that can be an opening right along this area right here where they can just fly straight into the main base.
Yeah, there's that one spot that's a little bit darker that has a turret spot right there and right there. Yeah. So they give you like a little tiny bit you can work with.
They can only build enough turrets to not kill the shuttle, to damage it, so it can still fly into your base.
You have to make sure that the Arbiter doesn't have shields when it kills you. But yeah, well, that's certainly an improvement over original Luna. It had 0 buildable squares in there. But yeah, Terror's setting this up now. Good defense. That can't really be broken. Not that I think OyA's thinking about attacking. At this point, OyA has to only focus on having 5 base and getting into splash damage. Or, I mean, you could go Arbiter, but I think here you want splash.
Interesting. A Stargate down here in the bottom right, and it's scanned by TerrOr right as it starts. That's, what's the Stargate for? Is it going to be for Arbiter or Carrier?
When I see 2 go down at the same time, I always think Carrier. I don't like Carrier here. I think Arbiter here would actually be a lot better, but I mean, anytime you can actually, if you have 4 carriers or more that are done with their interceptors, then that was always the right choice, I guess.
Right, you are. This next phase here coming up in the bottom right is going to put OyA on 5 bases, which you can't allow the Protoss to get too far ahead on the number of bases. You also can't allow them to take the top right here. You have to kind of stretch out as Terror and start to take the middle so that you can secure more bases in the top right, or just outright attack and try to kill. He's moving forward with these tanks. He's set up a good position here in the middle. I think a lot of this is actually buildable terrain here in this kind of dark blue area. It's not expected. It doesn't really look like it should be buildable, but all of that is buildable there.
Yeah, you're right. There's a lot of buildable in the center, so you could do things like turrets and whatnot, but I think this game, the pace of it is pretty high, so Terra's just kind of attacking. This is an only Zealot and Dragoon army, and when that's the case, the closer to max you are, the more certain you are going to win it, right? Like, Terra at 177, as long as upgrades are approximately similar, the Terran army beats the Protoss army if there's no splash.
Yeah, that makes sense. He's pushing forward here. You need some other layer of tech, but OyA just does not have it right now. He's going to hit a timing where not all the tanks are sieged, and he gets on top of a lot of this, but so much of this is just melting here for OyA. He's losing supply rapidly, and I think that Terror is going to hold strong here as all the Zealots disappear. The Dragoons start to get bloodied, and blue goo spread out everywhere. He's trying to switch into carriers right now. You cannot be throwing your army away right as the carrier transition is coming.
Truer words have never been said. Maybe he felt like that was his best chance to take a fight, but there was really no chance to take a fight. I think counterattacks here would have played a bigger role in a victory, but as is, he's got almost no units. From here, all Terror should do is ta-ta-ta-ta-ta.
Well, you know, he had a pretty good position, OyA did, in the top right. He was like threatening the counterattack, but maybe breaking off some zealots and sending them to the 12 would have bought him enough time. Instead, he brings everything together and tries to fight, and now TerrOr's shutting down bases. He's going to kill this bottom center. I think it's time to evacuate those probes, and he's even breaking in here towards the natural. There's only one tank here, so he should be able to gun that down and maybe stop this for a few moments, but more tanks are going to be rallied forward, and TerrOr just shoving in for the victory. OyA down on supply right now, and TerrOr just going for the kill.
Yeah, however many gates he has is not going to be enough to stop the rally down that's occurring here. I mean, it's an okay amount of gates, but again, no splash damage, no particularly great upgrades. He's trying to go into carriers at this time. I do feel like OyA had some potential in this game, but with TerrOr taking these other bases while applying the pressure of this push, like, it would be a miracle, I think, for OyA to win this.
Definitely going to need a miracle here. He does have 2 carriers, and they are miracle machines. He's popping out miracles left, right, and center, but I don't think it's going to even be enough here. 2 carriers coming from behind. They're not over any sort of high ground, so the Goliath's just going to dive right on top of them, immediately gunning down this first carrier. He can probably kill both of them right here. Okay, yeah, he might just barely get away, but already reducing that count. You cannot be losing carriers right now, and you need to be getting up past that 4 count, maybe even to 5. If you're going to be dropping down to, you know, just the bases in the bottom right, you can still produce interceptors, but the carriers really need to survive, and oh, he loses another one.
That's brutal. It's brutal. You need to keep those alive, as you said. Like, carriers scale better than everything else in the game, and you know, if you can get up to 6, 7, 8 carriers, you can win in any position. But as is, he continues to rally down. Now, TerrOr's attack here is sloppy. He killed both the carriers, so I'm gonna give him some leeway. But to just kind of rally like almost single file into this, Terran is about critical mass. So I wish he would just wait 2 rounds and then go.
That seems to be a trend here for TerrOr, but he's starting to get bases up in the top right. He's being counterattacked right now by a few Dragoons and Zealots, and I think they're going to walk into a big army here, so he will have to run back and just try to delay the bases up in the top right as long as possible. TerrOr is out of money in his natural and his main. He's mining on 1 base, so you know, he has to clear this out. He has to bring his whole army up here, and this will give time for OyA to pop out carriers, but I don't think very many carriers are going to be able to get out here before TerrOr starts on this attack again. Maybe 2, maybe 4, but they won't have interceptors for sure.
Yeah. Imagine with this move, how much time he's buying right now. Imagine if he hadn't lost those 2 carriers.
Yeah.
Like, this would become scary pretty quickly.
I agree. Yeah, that could have been... Okay, he's not even building carriers. He's just focused 100% on staying alive right now and building... Oh, he does have 2, but yeah, he would have had 4, and he could have been going up towards 6, and he's just focusing on surviving here purely with gateways and just fighting TerrOr over and over and over again, and he has survived this attack. Just surprisingly, he's still in this game, which I thought he was about to be knocked out of. He's maybe going to lose these carriers in the top. You can't be moving this far forward with just 2 carriers. If enough Goliaths get up here and they just start running you down, you're going to end up losing them, and you're never going to hit that critical mass that you really need to start becoming scary on the map.
If you're making more carriers, absolutely. I almost like the idea of how many gateway units he's making right now, because if you overmake Goliaths, a lot of things going wrong here for OyA, unfortunately. It takes a ton of damage on this one as well. Brings it back in. My God, oh my God. Oh, dude. 4 carriers dying 2 at a time. This is not how you...
No, this is not how it's done, but OyA... He's still in this, man. I can't believe it, but after losing 4 carriers and only building gateway units, he is still hanging on. He's sending all his probes down to the bottom right. He's delayed enough, mining long enough for TerrOr in the top right that things are a little bit shaky here. He's only at 119 supply to 143. Can he come up here and, you know, push down this base once again? I think that TerrOr is moving for a counterattack, but he really does need to save these bases pretty desperately. He's going to run out of mining in these other locations.
Oh, that is a big moment right there. Great mind drag. And the Dragoons coming up, killing all the tanks here at the natural. Only 3 units up the ramp. He can absolutely deal with that as well. TerrOr is sending the rest of his army. He was in the middle of the map. So this is buying even more time for OyA right now. I tell you what, we are watching OyA fight tooth and nail for a comeback. I don't think he's going to quite get it, but he's putting up a good fight.
Putting up a very good fight here, and we just got a scan, I think, from TerrOr down at the bottom right. I don't know if there's any more carriers being produced right now. I don't see any on the map. OyA just pumping pure gateway army, and he's got another location to start pumping out of down in the bottom right now, but the split map situation is just not a winning spot. Okay, there we go. Carriers are coming out here 2 at a time. He's got 2. He's banking them right now. Hopefully he's going to have, you know, at least 4 before he actually tries to fight again. I would be so sad to see these 2 carriers go down. It would be absolutely tragic.
Well, it would be on character, right, for the game and for OyA, unfortunately, so far. Dude, 3 dropships loaded up. This is super, super cute. We did see him do this against Bonif in one of the games against carriers as well in Paradiso. And I gotta say, it's a really cool move. This is actually a Mihu move. And I'm not surprised that TerrOr's trying it. Of course, he checks out Mihu games, but it's a great way to abuse the immobility of carrier builds. So dropping this off, he can snipe this Nexus, and that's going to be amazing for him.
Wow, he might actually get this Nexus. He's brought a lot of Goliaths, too. This is a force that is going to be able to snipe carriers as they come out of these star gates down in the bottom right. And the counterattack from OyA going to clean up this base at the 12 o'clock. There's still 2 good mining bases, though. Yeah, I'm going to snipe this again. Oh, this is great for TerrOr. Picking off these carriers as they're coming out. He's going to get the Nexus. He's going to deny a lot of mining here for OyA. And OyA stops the 12 o'clock, but there's still 2 good bases in the top right that can be mined from, and TerrOr's pretty well defended over here. That's maybe not quite enough turrets, but there's only 2 carriers, so yeah. I think he's going to be fine.
Yeah, and it looks like OyA is going to clear their army in the bottom right. I was going to say maybe if he can like siege the Nexus at the natural, like that could be a game victory, but not going to be able to do that. You know, OyA is still fighting really well with this really funny looking army. This is not normally an army we see in this matchup. It's like 3 carriers, an Archon, 3 Zealots, and 3 Goons. Okay, sick. But he's fighting with it really well. That army that was down in the bottom right that we thought was going to be cleaned up is actually still alive right now. It's killing all of the Stargates. Stargates are going to go down, and now OyA, he's just completely stuck on gateway tech. He's got nothing really else going on, and eventually TerrOr is going to get, you know, completely maxed with 3-3, and just pure gateway army against that is absolute trash. It's not going to do anything. Ooh, he's going to try to siege this again. Has 3 Goliaths in there, which is kind of nice. The carrier's coming. If he snipes that red carrier, man, come on, TerrOr. Oh, you're pulling it back. Oh, he was going for it too. Oh, come on, one time. Well, one time. This would be the 6th time.
He needs to hit that a few more than one time, but he doesn't get any shots on that red carrier. And those carriers, well, I guess that's the only 3 carriers we're going to have for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Like, probably, right? I don't imagine he's going to start building Stargates again. And a really brilliant move from TerrOr sending those drops down there. It's relieved a ton of pressure on his side of the map, and it's really shut down the momentum from OyA, who is pumping out huge amounts of gateways and getting into that carrier count finally. But now he's just, you know, not having that same income, and his carrier army is so much smaller than it could be.
Yeah, well, I mean, if he had, 5 carriers have been lost. So if he had 8 carriers right now, we would actually be talking about how, wow, what a comeback. But actually, we can still do that. Wow, what a comeback. It's 131 supply to 149. Like, OyA is in this game.
Carrier. He got the red one. 1 Goliath running forward. Hero Goliath picking off that 1 carrier. And now we're sitting here with 2 carriers. And what are those going to do? Like, they're only really decent for cleaning up tanks if they've got literally no protection.
Yeah, now in comes this gigantic OyA army. He is somehow macroed up. It's mostly Dragoons, I think, because he's been fighting so many Goliaths. So without the Zealots in there, I think attacking into a clump of siege tanks is definitely not the way. TerrOr just kind of zoning out the center of the map right now, and he does have, I would say, a slightly better unit composition. He does have better upgrades too, with +3 against +2. But the game has really opened back up. OyA has fought right back into it.
Yeah, OyA's looking for counterattack paths here. He's looking for any damage he can get with these carriers as well. Just picking off anything is better. It is value here for these carriers that have basically done nothing this entire game. Gonna drop some pylons, I think, over there at the center right. You really need some defenses in that location. Another base here for OyA. Actually, he's double expanding left and right, trying to get something else going here as the map continues to split in half, and TerrOr takes more and more of the middle. It looks like OyA gonna look for that weak spot, and I think he seems like he's found it here in the top left.
He certainly has. You know, we were talking about this specifically at the beginning of the game. When you get up to these long games, Terran has to reposition a lot to try to stop you from your pushes. So OyA brought all of his units to the far left. As the army comes over, he backs up. Now Terror is going to have to spread somewhat again, and then OyA can macro up again and try this move again.
And he's dropped the supply of Terror down to just 130, and OyA losing quite a few Dragoons on that retreat. So that didn't go exactly how he had planned, and this is a problem with just having pure gateway army, right? If you have Templar with this, you can throw down storms as you retreat, and the Terran can't really chase you very well. So just not having any further tech is hurting OyA pretty badly. He's been adding on Archons. I just don't see these Templar with Storm that are, you know, so typical in the matchup.
Yeah, we've been looking for those for a while, right? Like, we were talking about how that would probably be a better move than carriers, but still does not have them. He does have a Templar Archives. He did actually remake some Stargates. You see that? So maybe he is going to go back into carriers.
Oh, that's ridiculous. Well, he's got 3 now, and he's starting to fight here in the middle of the map. All the tanks are going to siege up and immediately backing away. I think that was a good move by OyA. Pick off a few of the Goliaths at the front. Fight just until the tanks siege up and then back away, and not take too many Dragoon losses, and keep macroing here until he can actually overwhelm this force.
I wonder if Terror is going to continue to make any Goliaths. He might just go Vulture Tank, which means those 2 Stargates could actually come into play really strongly again. Now you see OyA moving way to the left-hand side of the outside here. And he is going to pick off some units. You see Terror rotating in to try to stop this. Uh-oh. This Protoss army can beat that Terran army.
Yeah, this Protoss army enveloping the Terran forces. Blue just surrounding this red force here in the middle of the map, killing off all the tanks here, targeting down very nicely with the carriers, picking them off. And there's still enough goons here where the Goliaths actually can't jump on top of this. They might be able to get 1 kill, but all the goons are going to die. And I don't see him killing any of these carriers. Wow, the carrier force survives. Uncharacteristic for this game so far.
OyA has come back. Like, I was pretty darn certain that Terror was going to win this game, but OyA has come back all the way into it. He has 3 healthy mining bases against the 2 of Terror, and he's up 40 supply right now. I actually think OyA is favored to win this game at this point.
These are the type of games that we live for, right, Artosis? Like, games where the people, or where the one player gets a lead, we think it's over, they bring it back, it switches back and forth over and over again. You're not sure who's going to win, and it gets to an epic late game. And this is exactly what we were talking about at the beginning of this series, how we want to see a long PvP.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It really felt like OyA was misplaying some in the beginning, but the moves he's made since then to get back into it, I mean, that's the beauty of StarCraft. You can make mistakes and still win because all of us make mistakes.
Yeah, it's StarCraft Broodwar in a nutshell, and Zealot's coming up here. There's only 2 tanks to fight this pretty large ground force. He's trying to snipe the carriers right now with his Goliaths, but the Goliaths are standing over top of impassable terrain that's being utilized very nicely by OyA here. He's getting so many snipes on these Goliaths with his carriers while not taking too much damage, and he's pushing forward, I think, for the victory now. Terror he doesn't have anything up here. Nothing really to defend. 1 tank. That is it right now.
Oh, and he sees that tank. Look at this. The carrier's going in for that snipe. The Dragoon's now not going to be able to be stopped. Terror is bringing up what he has, but look at how small his army is.
Yeah, there's not much here for Terror, and if OyA runs up on this high ground, I think that's just a GG move. You cannot come up this high ground against this number of carriers and a bunch of goons efficiently. It's just not possible, and you need an efficient fight here.
Yeah, like, you need more than an efficient fight. You need to push all of this out of there. And unfortunately, now the carriers are getting into numbers where they're like almost an extra base because they just start killing so much for you. And in fact, I think TerrOr right now is like, he's got to be thinking to himself, I can't believe that I lost this game.
Yeah, I think this is one of those games that haunts you, and GG is called. TerrOr taps out. And OyA firing back 1-1 here in this series so far. That's a crazy good game.
That is, because it really felt like TerrOr was going to be up 2-0, and there is OyA fighting back. This is a great match between these two, honestly.
Yeah, very well matched here. We saw so far a couple of 3-0s, but now we're getting into the nitty-gritty. We've got some good matchups here, and I think we're going to have a really good match again with Dawid versus Bonneth coming up later as well.
Oh, of course. I mean, that's that's what we're waiting for, is that finals, for sure. But we will be getting into map number 3. It looks like it's going to be Paradiso, and not a big surprise on that, right? That's what a Terran player does, is they choose the most standard vanilla thing that you can really come up with. Lots of bases, lots of gases. I think this style of map is really good for TerrOr. Dropships are good here. There's a ton of bases, and you know that he likes to expand a lot and height bases and stuff like that. So, you know, I think TerrOr, the way he's playing, as long as he doesn't let that last game shake him too much, he's played 2 great games so far. Just keep going like that, and I think he can still take this series.
Right, so can he keep his head on straight here? TerrOr had a good advantage in that last game. We almost called it for him, but he ends up losing it. Really good comeback from OyA, and he's got to be feeling great here. You know, we were talking a lot about TerrOr and how he's feeling, but OyA, man, he's got to be, you know, on a high right now after that win.
Well, if he had lost, I think there's no real coming back in the series, because you're gonna be like, damn, he's just outplaying me. I'm making bad choices, you know. But to come back, it's like you calm your nerves in a point. If he had said GG, like if it was the latter, you might have said GG, right?
Yeah.
In a tournament, you're going to just keep going. And he kept going, and he fought all the way back. So yeah, the momentum's on his side.
Is on OyA's side as we get ready to this next game. Go ahead.
This is a Nexus first game.
Nexus first. All right, he's calling it already. Yeah, when you get a little win there, and then you can like crush the spirit of your Terran opponent by going Nexus first. They come across the map, you know, they already had an advantage in game number 2 and they lost it, and now you have a big advantage going forward if you get that Nexus first off, especially cross map.
Yeah, that would be so great for him. We are ready, guys. We're starting the next game. Get yourselves ready. Game number 3.
Here we go.
Okay. Or I can hold.
No, it's okay. Yeah, I got it.
Okay. You just hold one place, and I will adjust myself.
Okay.
Guys, we have a funny mic setup right now. Anyways, here we go. We have in the top left, OyA. And in the top right, we got TerrOr.
And no cross map, so Nexus first?
Well, I mean, you
works,
can't
right?
know, right?
Still
Like,
works. Yeah,
unless
you
you're
can't
looking
know,
at the
but-
stream on your, if he looks down into his lap and squints, then Ben goes no Nexus first. That's something. But in this case, like, I want to see Nexus first. Oh, okay, he's gonna do a forward gateway, it looks like, which that's okay. He's gonna put some pressure on. I was just thinking, like, if you have momentum like this and you happen to get cross spawn Nexus first, TerrOr's heart would sink. You know what I mean?
Crush the spirit.
Yeah.
Crush the spirit of your Terran opponent and show him that you're light years ahead in this game, in this, when you already have that momentum, you can start breaking in. He's going to drop that gateway in the front. It's an interesting placement for the gateway here. He's like spaced it just off of the pylon there. There's no easy way to block from that, but I guess maybe one pylon on top, and then you can set a goon in between the gateway and the pylon here.
Yeah.
Kind of fully blocked.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's probably his plan right there. And Yeah, Terror just going for a factory expansion. Probably a factory expansion. I mean, every time I see a gas, is what I think. This 2-fact sucks, but maybe it's a 2-fact again. Who knows?
Yeah. You think he would tilt that hard that he would go 2-fact again?
No. I think Terror is one of the best players that we've had in the foreign scene for many years, and probably he's as close to tilt-proof as anybody, honestly. Like, out of the Terran players, he might be the most composed.
Right.
Because we're all really angry, you know. And he seems to be the least angry. So yeah, I don't think.
It's funny because in the Korean community, I feel like all the Terran players are the most composed players, and then you've got Protoss that are so like emotional, you know, like Mini and those other players, like they really seem to be the ones that end up tilting. But yeah, Terran players to me, they're like Light and Flash and stuff. They just never even blink.
Well, to be the best, you got to do that, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
if you like, honestly, that is something that Flash has said in the past in some of his tutorial videos or when he's doing lectures about Terran. Yeah. Is he said one of the most important things is to not get emotional as Terran and just keep your calm and clean things up over and over, because things go wrong all the time. And if you start getting emotional as Terran, that's where you fall apart. So
Yeah.
that's actually a well-known thing in Korea.
Very cool, and it kind of goes in line with what I think about Terran when I'm playing as a Zerg player. It's like the greatest Terrans are the ones that act like they're like a Terminator. They have no emotions. They're just heading towards you constantly, just constantly pushing and attacking you, and nothing stops them, nothing slows them down, and they're just, you know, no matter how much damage you do to them, it's just not enough, and they're gonna eventually run you down.
Yeah, the T in T1000 stands for Terran. So what is Terror doing here? He's definitely on 3 depot. Is he on 2-fact, or is this an FD Terran push?
I'm not sure.
Okay, so yeah, this is FD, guys. So basically, this is a build where you make it look like it's 2-factory. That's what FD stands for, is fake double. Yeah, and here, you can explain it. I don't want to hog all the mic time here.
So the fake double, you're gonna go ahead and just produce a few tanks here and start to push with a whole bunch of Marines, followed up by a vulture rally across the map, and it makes it look like you're going for 2-factory, and there's going to be, you know, 2 vultures following up behind, but it's actually just 1 factory, and you're getting expansion behind it. You're going to come across the map, push the Dragoons back into the natural, lay mines down in front. It's not really meant to kill. You're really just meant to get pressure and actually get mines down in front of your opponent, and find out what they're doing is kind of the real strength of this map, because they have to bring everything in order to push it back, and that way you get to see what exactly is there. And if it's a DT player or something like that, then you're going to have mines in front of their base, and you're going to be able to put mines in front of your base. And if it's a Reaver, then you can always back up, and if it's just a whole bunch of gateways, well, then you can just back up. But if it's something really greedy, then maybe you can kill.
Exactly. And you know, if your opponent like overreacts or something, you might get an advantage there. It's not used as much as it used to be. It used to be super popular, but yeah, Terror is the only guy that I know that still regularly does it. And here he goes. He starts pushing down, gets a lot of damage on the first goon. The tanks are like, I mean, the Marines are really strong here, but a flanking goon as well. Are you kidding me? Oh my God.
Goon's not really firing. Okay, it is going to start firing now. We're bringing up some zealots, and they're going to hit these Marines, and this is a great hold from OyA. He kills that tank. He kills all of this, and I guess we're seeing why it's not used as much anymore.
Yeah, he might still be okay. Like, his Nexus is a little, or his command center is a little bit quicker, but he does have the mines down. Now, look at this. OyA just walking through. Oh my God, that's a lot of damage right there.
Oh, Canada just destroys that the hopes here for OyA of breaking this front, but actually gets the SCV, and he does stop the bunker as well. There's Marines being pumped out here, but yeah, there's nowhere for this Marine to go, and he's gonna bait into this mine. Can he actually bait into this mine one more time and get the finisher? Oh, they're so close. No, not gonna be baited here. He's gonna have to lift the command center up, and this has gone really bad for Terror now.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I thought he might be okay because of the amount of mines, but OyA just kind of walks right through him. He does get baited into that mine, but still the command center flying away. Terror stuck here on the high ground. He gets siege. I mean, his command center is done, but you can see this huge supply difference right now. This is very scary for TerrOr.
Yeah, TerrOr forced to go into siege mode here. He's gonna sit on high ground, and hopefully he can take his natural quickly enough to even this game out somewhat. But OyA taking a huge advantage. The longer this sits on high ground and the longer we don't have mining at the natural, the worse it's gonna be. Even a shuttle out here now, and we were gonna have a Reaver soon, I think, as well. And OyA just gonna continue to put on this pressure while even taking a third base at the same time.
Yeah, if OyA plays his standard style that he normally does here, it is going to be incredibly strong. So I was talking about it before a little bit. He plays Reaver into 3 base gateway man, so just like tons of speed lots and dragoons with oftentimes a speed shuttle with Reavers in it, maybe 2 speed shuttles with zealots and Reavers. And that play, so basically what you do is you stab into the main base with the speed shuttles, and they've had to buy turrets and stuff, and they have to bring some units to clear, and then you attack move into the third. And it is very hard to play against if you're playing perfectly. But here, when he's already got an edge, that would be exactly what I'm afraid of as TerrOr, right? But he made a starport, so he's going to try to come back in a different way. For me personally, knowing how OyA plays, I think the only way to play this is to go up to 5 factory immediately, like as quick as you can, to equalize the unit count. Because I feel like TerrOr will never get a third this game.
So the 5 factory to get a third, or the 5 factory to just push?
To get a third, yeah, because you will not be able to push OyA at all if he goes for this strategy, which I think he is, right? He went Reaver, he went quick third. I think we're going to see a gateway explosion, like 8 or 10 gates. We'll see. Maybe he won't do that, but like I think he will.
So if he does go for mass gateway here and has shuttles for drop, it tries to drop the main, do you think that going for mass wraith is a good strategy against his like 4 or 5 wraiths with cloak?
4 or 5 wraiths with cloak? Oh, you mean like against the Reaver openers?
Like against a player who's going to be dropping constantly, and yeah, with the Reaver opener, like this style.
I like the Wraith plays, actually. I like some of these cloak builds that we're seeing too. I think the meta for a while was 3, and I've seen a lot of Korean pros going to 2, which is kind of funny, right? Instead of going up, they went down slightly. I like the 3 personally, but yeah, I think it can be very strong.
Well, we're going to get a drop here in the main base, but OyA already pulling away all of his probes, so he's going to lose just 1 or 2, and TerrOr continuing with these really aggressive drops over and over again in each of these games, and he will end up picking off this tank. He might get the dropship as well. Oh, unfortunately, the goons here from OyA moving in a bit of an unfortunate way, going around the top there instead of catching onto this dropship. He only needed 1 more shot there to actually get rid of this. And now that's going to remain a threat on the map, and he'll have to worry about that going forward. Like, he's going to repair this and bring it out on the map once again.
The drop actually did deceivingly well, I feel like. I didn't like the idea from TerrOr, but he got some damage. He slowed OyA down immensely. He's getting his 5 facts up while there's still just 2 gates. So, like, everything I was talking about before, it doesn't feel like it's, or 3 gates, but the fact that he's getting 5 up before we have more than 3 gates, not realistic for OyA to do a bust anymore. So I feel like TerrOr has already equalized the game, and like I still think OyA is slightly ahead, but this is playable for TerrOr.
So TerrOr gonna heal up that dropship and immediately send it back out on the map. He's heading all the way around the bottom this time, and I think he's gonna hit the 3rd base, try to get some more damage going here. But this has already been pretty successful, and you know, getting anything else here is a cherry on top. We don't have a CC just yet. He's actually adding on more factories. Is this for a push, or are we just being really, really careful here? That's 6 factories. I don't think you need that many to take a command center, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe if your opponent's going gateway man, but like, yeah, this is, I think he is lining up for an attack. TerrOr has really been favoring the 6 factory plays today. We've seen it out of him a lot of times.
Yeah, and if the 6 factory doesn't work, he'll be behind and trying to take that 3rd base and maybe taking it into a long game, which he is totally capable of winning. But in that last game, you know, he maybe his late game confidence is broken. He wants to just hit timings where he can, you know, or he feels confident that he can actually win those games. And, you know, OyA, he might feel that he can't perform at the highest level, or the ability to beat OyA in the late game.
Yeah, I feel like TerrOr should feel like he can beat pretty much everyone in the late game, but yeah, sometimes your confidence just kind of goes down. Confidence is a huge part of StarCraft without any doubt, or any competitive pursuit.
Absolutely, and looks like some vultures making their way into the natural here. I don't think he can get past this little zealot wall here, but he's gonna deal some damage, maybe pick off a couple of those. Okay, he's gonna get one more, and he should be able to slip by now. Getting into the natural. Oh, tries to put down some building there. Okay, a pylon instead of maybe if that was a gateway, he could have actually held the vultures at bay. But getting into the main base, 2-3 more probes going down. This is a great run by TerrOr.
That was fantastic. That was like watching Sharp right there, right? That was he got damage where I didn't think there was going to be any. And now he's actually nailing the push during this as well, rallying straight out with 6 factories. He's got a Wraith here as well. This is perfect.
Yeah, I usually don't like to see Terran players throw away their vultures right before a push, but pulling all of the army back for OyA was definitely worth it. He's able to get up here in a really nice position, lay down all his mines before OyA can really react, and now he's ready for this for this counter strike. OyA gonna fly right in here, dropping all the zealots on top. He's dropping the Reaver in the back. Is he gonna get a big shot? Oh, a massive shot in these tanks, but that I don't think was enough. I mean, if he had been able to follow that up and kill all those tanks in that big clump there, maybe he could have held this, but now TerrOr's going to push forward with confidence.
It was an incredibly hard spot. I want to say he should have waited 2 rounds, but there were vultures coming out too quick, so there was no right choice for OyA. And now TerrOr pushing forward once again. I don't think OyA can stop this push. I think he's losing his natural this game.
Yeah, it looks to be the case. OyA backing away from this, trying to get rid of the mines here, trying to pick up some zealots to maybe jump on top of these tanks once again. There's no mines to drag here, though, unfortunately, and a lot of vultures to help out with the cleanup, with the defense of those tanks, and none of them go down, and the shuttle is pushed away. One last round of units here for OyA, but everything's just getting annihilated right as it comes out of this rally point. He's going to drop a few more tanks here trying to drag these mines, but the mine's just not connecting, not getting those lucky hits there, and still more and more tanks coming forward. Vulture rallies here coming across the map, and this should be it. TerrOr going to take another win here and take the advantage in the series.
Yeah, that was OyA's real last chance, because TerrOr actually didn't reinforce for a little bit. I'm not sure what happened there. Maybe he was like macroing or forgot to, but that was like the smallest amount of units you're going to face. So OyA in a tough spot. I don't know that you can really come back from this one like you did in the previous one, because Terran is right outside your base.
It's right outside your base, and there's no like other main that's already been taken by OyA where you can pump out a bunch more gateway units and actually flank this army. Instead, it's just going to be all of the units pouring out of the natural and getting completely destroyed by the tank fire, the vultures, the mines. Everything working in tandem to destroy this Protoss player as he tries desperately to hang on. OyA, he's about to go down 2-1 here, and he's trying his absolute darndest to break this, but it's just not going to be possible.
No, it certainly isn't. The turrets are really well placed. There's plenty of units. He's choking everything up, and OyA's just down to whatever pops out of his gateways at a given moment, which is just, it shouldn't be enough at any point. But hold on, he's got a lot of Dragoons here. Okay, the mines get laid down. The Dragoons actually glitch a bit there. Oh! He's, you know, OyA is pushing back pretty well, but again, I think I'm with you. I feel like he's been dead for like 2 minutes.
Yeah, he is pretty well dead here, but he's hoping upon against hope here that he can actually break this. And look at this, he's actually gonna kill these last few tanks. There's not enough vultures here. Did TerrOr mess up his macro once again? You were saying before that he seemed like he maybe missed a round or something like that, and now he's sending forward these tanks, but it's too late. All the tanks have been broken. I really thought that OyA was going to tap out, but he stayed in there, and he's being rewarded. He's still alive. This is unbelievable.
It actually is, yeah. And to be fair, like if you go back and look at the replay, I guarantee that there was missed rallies. If you rally like basically perfectly from when he was already in the position he's in now, 100% he wins. Here, you're right though. Like OyA, he's broken that, and he might just win. Like TerrOr did need to get to the natural. He was on 2 base that entire time.
If OyA manages to bring this back once again, we were talking earlier about the confidence of TerrOr, but that would be an absolute destroyer of your confidence as a Terran player, not able to finish when all you needed to do is rally across the map, units into the natural, and finish this Protoss who was on his last legs, and he somehow manages to bring it back. That's like... you're just going to be feeling so terrible at that point.
Yeah, the thing is, that was a one game and this was a one game as well. So it really feels like a bit of throwing going on, unfortunately, here for TerrOr. But OyA is attacking it, and TerrOr has more than enough to hold this. So a lot of units lost there for OyA, maybe getting a little bit overconfident. And he does get more nexus started in the bottom left. Doesn't have a mining yet or anything. Just started them a little bit ago. But, you know, TerrOr, he's got enough factories, and it's 3 base versus 3 base at this exact moment. TerrOr can still fight back here as well.
Yeah, TerrOr is on 3 bases. He's locking those down. One thing about this map, Paradiso, is that if you push forward to that ramp, that high ground there in between your enemy's base and your own, and then you hold that location, you immediately get the base at the 12 o'clock. That's completely defended, and that's an amazing defensive location. Cuts off a big part of the counterattack path, or the path towards your base for the Protoss player. They have to go way around if they want to attack you. So TerrOr should be able to lock down 4 bases here if he continues on in this game. If he's able to macro up beyond like 150, 160 supply, he should be able to hold that. And then we could go into a really long game with the Terran player being on 4 bases. Things can get pretty crazy.
Yeah, and he definitely needs to think about getting on those 4 bases pretty quick, because 5 versus 3 is pretty Protoss favored. You don't have a huge window to take that 4th base or kill the Protoss. Like, the kill window is very small, and then the expand window is a little bit bigger, but like, it feels like that's where we're at in this game. It's been kind of a weird back and forth game, a lot of action early on. But yeah, TerrOr definitely needs to think about, does he want to try to push forward and take 12? Or does he just try to split the map going to the south? And those are hard choices.
Wow, this tank down here, this tank drop has gotten insane damage. 10 kill tank there and 4 kills on this one that's been loaded up once again. So total 14 kills, a lot of those probes really damaging this economy of OyA just as he's getting everything online here in the bottom left-hand corner. So that is a huge move for TerrOr. He's going to be feeling great here. And all the probes going actually back to the natural, which doesn't have any money. I think that OyA forgot about those probes. Look, he's got a whole line of probes heading up, and he really needs to get army down there to defend bottom left and get those bases up and mining here ASAP. Oh, an Arbiter Tribunal on the way as well. So he's transitioning into Arbor. That's funny.
Yeah, I like that here. I actually quite like it when you're kind of in this macro phase of like Zealot Dragoon. You're kind of roaming the map a bunch. Like, the entire game has been about him getting a lot of gateway units. Arbiter goes very well with that. And if you get ahead on bases with Arbiter, like very ahead like he is now, that's the best case scenario because you control the tempo completely with recall.
Right, and there's going to be a lot of opportunities here to recall, but honestly, this base, or this map specifically, I think might be the easiest to defend against recall. Like, you can put turrets just about everywhere up to your 4th base. If you go to the 12, if you go to the 3, then you can put a lot of turrets there, and it all defends your base. There's a lot of buildable terrain. Oh god, this is so much damage. I'm thinking about Arbiter, but this is crazy damage right now. Getting in here with the vultures, killing a lot of probes. And OyA, this is really his fault for not leaving anything down here at the bottom left when he knew that there was a tank drop. Oh my god, that mine connection though.
Yeah, this was super efficient. The amount of probes he got there is actually shocking. So OyA's economy not quite as big as he was hoping for, which makes it a little bit harder for him to get into that Arbiter tech and make that work out for him, right? You need a ton of units to spend when you're playing Arbiter. And it feels like, you know, TerrOr, he's fighting. I'm not going to call him ahead right now because he's on 3 base. You know, he's only got +1 upgrades. That's not very good upgrades for 21 minutes in the game. In fact, that's insanely low upgrades. So I'm not sure what the next plan is, but I think you just have to get another base up as TerrOr.
Oh man, look at how many tanks there are right there. If he had a storm right now, I think TerrOr would just be in shambles right now.
Zealot.
Zealot, drop one. Those are so many tanks stacked on top of each other. Look at how close that mine is as well.
Oh my god, yeah. Imagine on that sweet spot right there.
Oh god, that would be brutal, but he didn't have anything there, so TerrOr saved the embarrassment of having to leave this game after losing 8 tanks to 1 mine. And now we are moving around the bottom side of the map for OyA. He's going to bring his army to bear here, maybe try to shut down this 4th base, but I don't think it's going to be a possibility. TerrOr's got a ton of supply here, 143. I think OyA needs to sit back, get some gateways down in the bottom left, really get into this Arbiter tech, and look to the next stages of this game. Like 4 bases for TerrOr. He's already mined out of his main and natural pretty much, so he will be back on 2 bases shortly here as well.
Yeah, that's going to be a problem. You need to be thinking about that and keeping that base count as high as possible, especially if you're going to be playing against Arbiter. Now, TerrOr has the 3 o'clock base. It's getting set up right now. OyA, I'm sure, has been refilling probes quite a bit. And, oh, he's taking another base here as well. And that's, well, he's going to start expanding across the bottom right. So for TerrOr, your next choice, your next thought process is, am I taking bottom right? Or am I pushing while denying bottom right? Because if Protoss gets bottom right, the game ends.
Right, if you've got 3 quadrants of the map, the amount of gateway units you can pump out is just insane, and you're going to have 3 different rally points to deal with as well, and things will get completely out of control. So we haven't seen OyA send anything down to that bottom right just yet, but you could see him send something down just to start placing cannons on high ground, which can be super annoying to deal with. However, TerrOr is very good with the dropship play. I think he's going to go for a massive push and try to deny bottom right, maybe with drops. Is that a good assessment?
That can be a very good way to play. I like playing like that personally. Here, OyA going to push in a little bit? Yeah, absolutely not. TerrOr has plenty of units still. The supply is close enough. You know, you said it well before when you're like 150, 160 supply, you can kind of defend. That's absolutely the case. When you have around that supply with mech, you can make a decent portion of the map pretty unbreakable for Protoss. So OyA shouldn't really attack. You should think about counterattacks. You should think about crushing attacks that come out. You should think about recalls, but not attacking headlong into the army.
Yeah, fake push there, or a false charge from our Protoss player. He ran right up to the Terran and turned around at the last moment. I'm gonna back away, back into the jungle here of Paradiso, ready for his next attack coming up soon. We've got almost 150 energy on this Arbiter, and we haven't seen a stasis yet, so there may be a recall coming in here very soon. There's that 150 energy. I think this is the time. Is he going to go for it on this high ground, this space over here? I don't see all of TerrOr's army. It's a little bit out of position. Maybe he can get a big stasis here on this big clump. Oh, actually not the best stasis there, but that's still pretty good, but yeah, not going to be good enough for OyA to actually break this.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like the most useful stasis there. He had like the idea of attacking 3 o'clock, but he pulls back and uses the stasis, so without any real gain there. He is going to go ahead and just rotate around the map a little bit more. TerrOr does have something in the bottom right, and that's important because, again, I feel like the win condition for OyA is not recall, it's not attacking, it's denying bottom right to TerrOr and getting it yourself.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. He's going to continue to move around the map here. He's got something in the bottom right, just making sure that OyA's not taking that, and OyA's not getting down there just yet. He's trying to mine here at the bottom left, that kind of forward 3rd base, I guess, in this quadrant. I want to say mineral only, but there is a gas there. And TerrOr is moving forward. 183 supply. It's time to attack. Will he be able to break OyA here? He's just going straight towards the natural.
Yeah, here he goes, pushing forward. There should be at least 2 stasises ready. I don't know if he has EMP. I'd assume he does at this point, since he has 4 gases. That is a lot of siege tanks, and he does have 2-1 upgrades, so that's at least reasonable at this point. And here we go. OyA gonna attack in. This is a huge Protoss army. He gets 1, but there is another stasis. That's a good, solid stasis, but he's almost out of Zealots.
Ooh, the storms here are insane, dealing so much damage to the tanks, and there's still a big spread of Dragoons, but this is the perfect moment, actually, for OyA to back away. Oh, God, he's got to pull back the Dragoons, pull back the Okay, there we go. losing about 4 or 5 extra Dragoons, but that was almost a perfect attack there by OyA. He got the Storms off, he got the Stasis, he used his Zealots, and it got a lot of damage with it, killed a lot of tanks, but he did not drop all of his Dragoons here, so he can just completely refill with only Zealot right now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's actually a really good point. That's like kind of how you want to play PvT, is always keep the Dragoons alive. Think of them as your siege tanks in a way. Yeah. And so then you can refill with Zealots. Zealot macro is a lot. It's like really quick. It comes out quickly. You don't want to be like half Dragoon, half Zealot production. It sucks. So yeah, you're completely right on that. If he can keep these goons alive, continue to rotate around and just rail out Zealots, that's going to be good for him.
5 HP Arbiter does go down, and this counterattack is going to be cleaned up here. OyA trying to get as much damage as he can in the center right, killing off a few tanks. Not going to be able to target down, I think, the CC here, though. He's going to try and bail out towards the south, but he lost his observer during this, and all these mines here are going to catch a huge clump of Dragoons. Man, I don't really like this from OyA, the way that he decided to go around the army here. I felt like if he just refilled with Zealots and went again against this forward force, he should have been able to break it. But now he doesn't really have the overall army supply and Dragoons to bust through this.
Yeah, it was a bit wasteful. It's like, I mean, Dragoons are pretty good at running around the map, but that was a little bit weird. Attacking up now, trying to break through these tanks, this little containment. Don't forget, this is protecting 12. So if OyA breaks this, TerrOr is not going to be able to maintain that 12 o'clock base that he just took. And you need 2 mining bases as a 3-2 Terror.
Yeah, there we go. TerrOr reinforcing here. More Zealots coming forward. A nice D-Matrix on that front tank, but looks like everything going to be pushed back. Not really doing much with that D-Matrix, actually. There's just not much left over for OyA. And are we finally going to see a push here? Finish off OyA. This seems like a long time coming. This game has gone on way longer than we expected, and it's gonna end pretty much how we expected, but way later on in the game.
Yeah, good solid win there at the end of the day. Like, that was a hard and trying game. TerrOr definitely had it earlier. He had it at 15 minutes, and yeah, OyA fought back well. He broke through the push. There was a little bit of a macro hiccup from TerrOr, and OyA almost came back from it. So, really fun series so far.
I think you're going to be feeling good about that game as TerrOr, but you're still a little bit scared, though, right? Like, man, he almost brought that one back.
Yeah. That's honestly, TerrOr should be 3-0, and it should have been done 20 minutes ago. So, well, based on how the games were starting. Yeah. But OyA is battling back, and honestly, after that game and how bad it was in the beginning, I feel like their mentality should be about even right now. You know what I mean? Like, both of them should be like, okay, we're both playing pretty well. Let's go. Let's see how this goes down. And we're going to champion for the next map. So a 2-player map here chosen by OyA.
Okay, awesome. Another TVP here, and OyA is behind right now with his map choice. Can he bring it back? Can he bring us to a 2-2? Our first game 5 here in the semifinals and the finals, the last day of the BSL. I would love to see a game 5 here, wouldn't you?
Yes, I think we need to at this point. And I mean, odds are that that's going to happen. These two are very well matched, and Champion is a little bit Protoss favored. It's a bit hard to play. Like, you have all these options of proxy gate, offensive gas. Taking the third is a little bit hard, and the third is a mineral base, so any sort of carrier rushes can be strong here. You know, there's a lot of opportunities for OyA to have a better opener than what we've seen in the previous games.
We talked about this before. Champion is a map with a lot of different counterattack paths that go through it, but it's not like Eclipse, where you can you can't cross over between the paths. In Champion, you can cross over. You can chase down the army. So we'll see if TerrOr is able to do that. If he's able to track down that army and actually finish it off.
Yep. All right, it is time to get going. Here we go into game number 4.
All right, game number 4 here with OyA in the top left-hand corner. TerrOr down. Yes, stare down in the bottom right. Champion is the map. Zero champion.
And okay, so this, like, 2-player maps in TVP, there are so many different variables. There's so many openers. So Protoss can literally open with anything they do on a 4-player map, but also proxies and gas steals. So that is a lot of things you have to account for. And then on Terran's side, you don't get to choose much. You get to choose, do I cancel something and take my gas when they come? And how early do I scout? Those are your 2 main choices. And obviously, there's all sorts of branches that come off based on what Protoss chooses to do. But it makes it a little bit hard for Terran because you're not sure what game you're about to play.
There are players who cancel their SCV and try to take their gas a little earlier. Do you endorse that player? You think that's good or not?
Wait, which one? Sorry?
Cancel your SCV and take your gas immediately. Like,
No,
not
I
make
hate
this.
I hate it because if they go proxy gate and you do that, then it just sucks because you're already down SCVs. They might pick them off. Getting the factory up quickly is going to be very difficult. I think it's always best to just let them take the gas, and that's just the nature of it. Just fight back in a different way.
Right. We saw TerrOr. Did he win with the gasless fast expand, or was that a loss? I'm getting the openers mixed up in my head.
This last game was the gasless, wasn't it? Or was it Luna?
I actually can't remember.
Games in rapid succession. I'm having a hard time remembering exactly what the openers were on each map as well.
Yeah. All right. Well, we said before that TerrOr was a someone who's strong with the gasless fast expand, and he's going to be forced into it this time. So we'll see exactly how strong he is.
Yeah. Now, this is not a proxy gate to go with it, so I don't think we're going to see Marine base play like Marine Medic, but TerrOr will not hesitate to go Marine Medic if he thinks that it's the best choice against Protoss.
Wow.
But I feel like that's, if you ever do that and their gate is in their main base, I'm like, what? Like that's, but if the gate is close to you, you can kill it quickly, and then,
right.
It feels a lot better to do. So I'm not sure exactly what he's going to go for, but I wanted to throw that out there, that out of all the strong foreign Terrans, he goes Marine Medic the most after a gas skill.
That would be a pretty epic way to end this series, with a win with Marine Medic on game number 4, but I'm hoping that we won't see a TerrOr win here. I hope that OyA can overcome and we can get to that game 5. A little biased here. As a caster, I want to see as many games as possible. Gonna kill this gas here with about 4 or 5 SCVs. Now, that's something that always confused me in this matchup. How many SCVs do you use to kill the gas generally?
There's actually a funny answer to this, and I'm glad that you asked, because I was asked earlier by Brain about repairing bunkers and the math behind that.
Yeah.
And I let him know that my buddy Dunebug helped me to figure that out exactly. And we actually figured out, well, when I say we, that's a royal we. He figured it out when I asked him about it. And so basically, for how many SCVs kill the gas, it's the exact same value no matter how quickly you kill it. So if you put 5 on, 4 on, 3 on, 2 on, 1 on, whatever, it has to do with how quickly you want to get the gas. The only thing that changes the value lost is the travel time of the SCV from going from mining to attacking.
Right.
So if your SCVs dance over each other while you go up to attack, you lose more minerals. But you're basically their damage, just because you kill it quicker, you're losing the same amount of minerals, is what I'm trying to say. If that makes sense.
That is not intuitive, but that is a very interesting result. That's not what I was expecting, but...
No, not me either. I thought that there would be a golden number, and there absolutely is not. So when you think about it logically, if you have 1 SCV on every patch and you use the extra ones to kill, that is probably the #1 way to do it.
Okay. That makes sense to me. Yeah.
If you need the gas quicker, then, obviously that's going to change. StarCraft is so different every time,
Right. And as a Zerg player, I know how important it is to have 1 worker per mineral patch. You definitely want that as a golden rule, just to have each mineral patch with at least 1. Having more, of course, in these other matchups, SCVs are always going to want to have maybe 2, 3. You want about 20 workers per base. Is that right?
Yeah, it's let's say that you're going to do a 2-base push. you want 22 workers per base generally. Approximately that. It's like 44 workers is going to be the economy that's going to like fuel the speed of the push. But of course, this always matters on what you want to do. Like, are you going to transition later? We'll get more SCVs, you know?
These are some of these things that I'm so interested to hear about, but are not things that I've really investigated closely. And I feel like if I ever want to do well in a tournament like this, I'm absolutely going to have to dive in and get super like into this type of close, you know, optimization checking in order to actually do it. And I know it's going to have to come sometime, but I'm not looking forward to doing all the calculation.
And honestly, you're a Zerg player, and it's the most important for them, the optimization. Yeah. So,
yeah.
Like, it goes Zerg, Terran, Protoss as far as those optimizations.
It makes sense to me. And well, now we've got a very quick third base here for OyA. What did he do this off of? This is a Nexus, a third Nexus off of what, 2 gateways or something? He's added on a lot more, but he's being very greedy here.
Yeah, that's a super fast Nexus. That was like a 5-minute third. And TerrOr is playing blind. You can see the Dragoons kind of spread in the center to catch scout SCVs. And look at this, TerrOr, because when you're playing blind with a build like this, you have to build 3 turrets, right? So that slows everything else. He is going up to 4 factories. Maybe he can hit a push.
Ooh, he built 5 turrets here, so even spending a bit more money than is totally necessary just to make sure that he didn't take any damage, and that's going to slow down his push quite a bit.
It is, and that's a problem, because if you have a fully optimized I skipped my turrets push, you'll kill this every time. But obviously, if you don't have the scout intel, and it's really hard to get the scout intel on time, because if your opponent opened with a regularly timed gas, you need to know what's happening by 4 minutes and 20 seconds. And that's, dude, it's hard. So he's played it safe. Now, it's not to say he's dead, but I like OyA's opener more.
Yeah, I like OyA's opener here, and we've got 5 factors now. I think after you don't see any shuttle or anything come in for this amount of time, you're like, okay, are you being really greedy here? What exactly is going on? No DT, no shuttle, nothing coming across the map. You don't even have Dragoons sitting out in front of my base. Like, there's something fishy going on right now.
Yeah, I would feel that too, and that's why he's building turrets as he goes forward, because he's like, is there a Reaver? Are there DTs? What's going on here? Something's not right. And the thing is, for OyA, everything's right. His opponent is playing safe, and he's playing greedy.
Right. That's the rock, paper, scissors of these matchups in every single game of StarCraft. Who's going greedy and who's going to be aggressive and who's going to play safe. It's definitely rock, paper, scissors-y in that regard. And TerrOr here, he's got the short end of the stick. He's got the paper to the scissors of OyA. OyA pushing forward here, just killing off a turret, slowing everything down, and all he's waiting for is gateways, more gateways to come online so he can have a massive force. Whenever TerrOr decides to move forward, try to push or take a base, he's going to have just so many gateways to work with. He should be able to overwhelm TerrOr as he comes out.
Yeah, I think that is the plan here. But, you know, TerrOr, like, if he just goes 5 factory macro here, takes a third base, and just continues to macro, I think he's still, like, fine. Especially if OyA continues to just kind of go gateway man on 3 base, right? So, like, basically what you're supposed to be doing as Terran is mirroring the Protoss army size, right? So you want to keep your supply as close as possible. And the more you can do that, the better position you're in.
So he's going to be mirroring as across the map here, following the Protoss force up the map. OyA is giving him some space to move forward. I think he's giving him some rope to hang himself with, though. You know, letting him get this far out on the map, and then he's going to jump on top of this, dragging some mines in there, almost connected with the tanks, but actually these connections have not been very good, and now some more units coming down, just helping to break this, but oh man, OyA losing so many Dragoons here. This is very, very bad.
TerrOr had exactly enough here and continues to push. He's just got to rally out vultures as quickly as possible. He should go to the left, I feel like, here, as opposed to continue to push. I'm just a little bit nervous that speed lots are going to come out and ruin his day, but they don't have speed yet.
Now, where is the speed here for OyA? This is very late on for the speed to be coming out, and he doesn't have any other tech to work with, so you need speed lots And that was probably, you know what, that makes the whole difference. We saw that mine. I heard you cringe as the mine went forward there and almost connected with the tanks. If that was a speed lot, the mine probably would have connected with the tanks.
Yeah, if he had speed, then I think he kills way more there and this game isn't over. But as is, OyA's in a lot of trouble. He's actually pulling probes to try to kill siege tanks. Vultures come up for the reinforcement. Oh man, like this is terrible right now for OyA.
Yeah, probes, they can fight, but they're not nearly as good at fighting tanks as SCVs are, and they explode very, very quickly here. Vultures are gunning down everything, and GG is called. TerrOr takes that win and takes away the series here. Well done. Fantastic job by him. I really thought that OyA had a great position there that game.
Yeah, I think he had the better opener, and then the engage just didn't quite go his way. And it, like, if he had speed, maybe it goes his way. Maybe a better spread. Maybe he backs up one time, and then comes with the next reinforce. I don't think that particular scenario TerrOr kills, like, maybe 5 out of 10 games.
Right.
Maybe. I don't know. Good job for him. Good job for him.
Really
He
good
picks
job.
up that win.
Really, really good job, and he's just won himself a bunch of money. Am I right? I think so.
I think third place is pretty decent.
What's third place here? 0. We've got the TL thread right there. Wow, $890. TerrOr has just won himself nearly $1,000 for his participation in this event, and he got to come to Thailand. That's pretty sick.
No, that's a good deal. And you don't take that deal for sure.
So he got his, he qualified for this tournament, so he also had his flights paid for. Just an amazing fact that we can have a tournament like this with such a great group of players and an awesome prize pool. It's fantastic.
Yeah. All right. I mean, that does it for the third place match. I think maybe we'll like throw on the bracket or something real quick and
Sounds good.
some of that cheese I smell behind you.
Yeah, it's
Whatever
smelling good.
The name of a dance we do down Johannesburg way. Hit it!